Hello cactus lovers, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to give an update on a graft that I featured in a previous video that has done remarkably well, and I'm also going to cover some new grafts I'm intending to do, plus the status of a graft that has had a slight problem. I'll come to that a little bit later. Anyway, so this is the scion that I grafted in a previous video that was much smaller. Idea the size there, it's grown to maybe 5, 6, 7 centimeters across. When I grafted it, it was maybe a centimeter. That has done extremely well and has been living on the upstairs windowsill outside in a sunny spot which catches a lot of heat, so I'm very pleased with this. And the reason I grafted this is that I was uncertain whether the rootstock that it was previously on, which was Periskiopsis, it looked like it might be failing. But what I did is I left part of the scion so that if it was going to do anything, it would have a chance to do so. And if we look here, that scion has grown pups. Those pups are growing on each other. They're doing very well. You can see the Periskiopsis there. This looks very healthy to me, but what I'm going to do is take one of these pups off and graft it again. So hopefully I can propagate this plant. And while I'm at it, if any of you know what this scion actually is, I can't match it up with any of the seeds I've bought, so I don't actually know what it is. So if you know, or you're pretty sure what it is, please do mention in the comments below, and please do like and subscribe to the channel. My one thought was that this could be Echinocactus grusonii. I'm not sure it is because the spines are too curved and it doesn't quite look like it, but anyway, if any of you have any ideas, please let me know. The other thing I was going to graft, I have a similar thing here. This I believe is Pherocactus gracilis, and this has been in my grow tent, has done fairly well, and as you can see has grown lots of pups on the side there. And what I'm planning to do is a similar thing, take one of these pups off, possibly a couple of them, and put them on new grafting stock. Now there's a slight issue that I noticed that I don't know if you can see. There's some sort of darkening around the growth points, including on the main one there. It's gone a bit yucky really. Not sure what this is. I think it may be possibly rust fungus or something. The grow tent has been, if anything, too humid. It's a very humid environment here and it's difficult to keep the humidity down. So I've also had this appear with some of the cacti that have been outside, and they've actually been growing through the darkened patch with new growth. So although they're sort of left scarred, they don't seem to have terminated. So I'm planning to take one of these. I think one of these pups here, is it that one? Sorry, it's a bit jittery. That doesn't appear to have the darkening on it. So I may take that off and do a butt graft and a top graft of it. So here is a little scion that was grafted to Schlumbergera. Now the Schlumbergera basically rotted, so I took this and was attempting to root it. And if we have a quick look here, I think there's a start of a root coming through, so that's good, and I'm quite happy with that. However, if we look on top, it's started to go slightly brown and it's starting to rot. That does appear to be spreading, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top off this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save it or not, but the bottom is rooting. Hopefully it's got enough tissue mass to survive having the top cut off, and will then produce new pups, but we'll see what happens. And for the grafting stock, I've got this cactus here which suffered from some quite bad sunburn, so it's a little bit unsightly as you can see, but it's grown out of that and done very well. So it's not a prize cactus, but it's one that's vigorous, so I'm going to use that as stock. Similarly, this one had some sunburn, maybe not so severe, and that's looking very healthy, so I will use that as well. And I've picked a couple of other plants here, which, as you can see, they're done fairly well. They look fairly healthy and tall. The tops of all these cacti I will obviously keep and try and reroot. And the final thing I'm planning to use as stock, so this is Myrtillocactus geometrizans. This is the top. I've cut off another plant for grafting. I've rooted it. It's rooted very nicely, and it's growing. So I'm going to use that, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start by cutting through this little scion that I've been trying to root. So first, before I do that, let's just sterilise the blade. I have a little razor blade here. It's quite good for cutting through small scions, and I have some isopropyl alcohol, so I'll give that a good wipe. Okay, that should be okay. Let's let that dry off. And here we have the top of it. So I'm going to start by just cutting, you can see that, not too far down, and I'm hoping that I don't have to go back down very far, but we'll see what we find. Well, okay, so that looks fairly clean, so I think that's probably okay. So actually there is a little bit just showing on the top part there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-sterilise the blade, just in case there's some nasty infected flesh there or something like that. Do that. Let it dry off. And I'm going to just cut another little slice through there, just to get rid of that surface and make that fairly clean. There we go. Yeah, I think that's fairly clean. So I will leave that for a few days to dry off. In fact, I'll probably just place the plant back on the soil to carry on rooting, because there's no reason why it can't root and dry off at the same time. So I shall just place that here. Okay, so that's just like that. And now to try and carefully detach one of these pups without disturbing the whole plant, so that I can graft it. What I'm going to attempt to do is pull off one of these pups. See how well attached it is. It doesn't want to come off. Sometimes you can twist a pup and it will come off. There we go, that's just starting to come loose. And there we go. Don't want to disturb the existing rootstock and the bulk of the growth. So there we go, that's now come off. Right, okay, that's good. So you can see under there's a little bit of a damage where I've twisted it off, but I don't think that's damaged any of the rest of the plant, so that should callus over. And if we can see there, that's relatively clean. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut it in half and try and graft the top, and also do a butt graft with the bottom half to see if I can get them both to grow. So I'm not going to film the entire grafting process, because that would take too long and probably be a little bit boring. But what I'll do is I'll make a start now and come back when I've finished doing the grafts, and you'll see what the results are. And then maybe in a few weeks, when I know if the grafts have taken and succeeded, I'll do an update. So there we have it. I'm not very happy with how these have gone, to be honest. The task of getting rubber bands on to try and hold them down is always a bit fraught with problems. This one I think is okay. This one, a little chunk fell out of the side of the top of the scion, so maybe I didn't cut it very well, but I think it's probably going to be okay. And we have overlapping rings for the vascular bundles, so I think we're going to be okay. And likewise this one, it's on. I had problems with it sliding off, and had to sort of reattach it. And the last two, which is this one here, I decided to use grafting tape rather than rubber bands because it's just a bit easier to apply, and what you do is you wrap it round the spines lower down. And then this one is, I just realised I had this plant, which is a freebie from a plant supplier when I ordered some cacti, and it's been growing some new nodes. I don't know what you call them. I'm thinking it might be a tephra cactus, but if anyone has a more definitive identification, then please let me know, because it was just in the box and with no label or anything. And I've grafted one of the pups here onto the. This is a hybrid of Pachanoi and Peruvianus as a rootstock. So I'm going to leave these for a week, possibly a little bit longer. Hopefully the scions will attach to the stock and start growing. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Like I say, do click like and subscribe if you appreciate the content of this channel. I hope to try and publish a little bit more frequently. And happy cactusing, everyone.